Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Blind. We're back in Saskatchewan, and before we get started, let's remind you that the Behind the Blind podcast from Heartland Waterfowl is brought to you by Tetra Hearing. They're the proud title sponsor of this podcast. Make sure you find them online at tetrahearing.com. They've been in business for a handful of years now, doing great things, and a lot of new technology has come out, and you should go check it out. All right, we had a good day today.
Yeah. We did have
good one, fun one.
Good day for Heartland Waterfowl.
No wind worked out.
Yeah. But let's talk about that because this was your guys' scout, and when we got back from scout, and you're like, we got a spot,
A-team.
but this. You were the A-team.
Shout out A-team.
Congratulations. You said, hey, we got a spot, but like it's going to be, it could be trash. I mean, I can't say exactly what you said.
I mean, the hide in the field technically was terrible.
It was a raked pea field, so there's literally nothing. And the east-west road on the south side of the field and the north-south road on the east side of the field were trash. Like, you couldn't drive down
down there to get a
so
better look at it.
And the birds were on the far side of it. So, like, we're just, like, hoping and praying, right? So if we didn't have an edge to hunt, then we were going to willow hide out in the middle.
Right. That's right.
The classic September 1st fall Saskatchewan hunt, willow hide out in the middle.
Yep.
That's what we were going to go with. Thank God we didn't have to do that.
Yeah, the thing is when we were looking at the aerial of it, from where we were watching the birds, you couldn't really see that little waterway, but you could obviously tell that there was a waterway in it. So we were like, man, is there a real big fall off? Is it, downhill? Is it actually a decent waterway? So we went into it this morning kind of unknown and ended up working out pretty dang well.
And there's some sheet water right there where the point was that we were hoping we could sit on,
right?
And it just worked out.
Did you know the sheet water was there?
No
Yeah,
clue.
You didn't know that
Not
until
till
this morning.
We were driving and actually the first from west to east, the field really sloped off, and the further east you got, the flatter it got, because we were sitting there like, we can't hunt here on this edge. It's a good hide, but it slopes off too much. And then finally we saw that sheet water and it was flat, and we're like, yep, no brainer.
Yep,
like,
and there's just a little point of that grass and stuff along the waterway that stuck out.
Yeah. And I mean, the entire sheet water, everything around it had tracks,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were definitely loaded.
There was poop everywhere. I mean, the entire field had poop in it, but we lucked out just for the fact that it's been so wet and rainy. We had to take the Honda in again this morning. That those two roads were completely blocked off.
Yeah,
So,
that's been the issue, especially with scouting, is it's like you have to stay on the decent roads because you want to rip to a section north, but that road is complete trash. So it's like you got to make a 2-mile loop just to go one section north just to try and stay on a decent road and not get stuck.
They're not getting any better anytime soon.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the wind's starting to pick up today. We're going to have some strong wind tomorrow. Hopefully that dries it out a little bit, but there's more rain in the forecast, so we're going to be kind of dealing with that for the rest of the time that we're up here. I will say that although today was a good day, I think we ended up with about 44 birds, and congratulations to Logan Burditt and Alex Diecedue for both shooting banded birds.
Yeah.
Hey.
2 bands today. That was incredible.
I took your band.
You did, actually.
I took your band.
Logan always preaches, shoot your lanes, guys. Guys, shoot your lanes. And Logan went against his own.
You weren't even wanting to stand up on the
What are you
pair.
talking
You're like,
about?
you're like, hey, Alex and Logan are going to shoot these.
I mean, if he really wants to be honest, I let him have it because I came off that bird to go to the far left one.
We weren't
not
about to let
out.
you have both bands today.
I think I opened this with a compliment, like congratulations, and somehow I got turned out to be the guy who screwed this up.
Strap it in. You got 3 more days.
So yeah, congratulations to these guys. That's awesome. I mean, I think there was only one other time that we've come up here
The very first year.
in the spring where we shot a banded bird. Well, actually, have we ever shot a band in Canada besides that spring? Have we ever shot one in the fall?
No.
Did you say a band in Canada? I thought you said abandoned Canada. I was like,
No,
we're not
no,
shooting
a
any
band
Canadas
in-
this spring.
A band in Canada. So yeah, no, that's incredible. Both of them were banded in none of it, right? And your
Yep.
bird was a little bit older.
2017.
Yours was 2019.
Yeah, 2019.
So that was really cool.
Super cool.
However, a very unconventional hunt, if we're just being honest. Now, I'm not sure if you're watching this before the episode comes out on YouTube or maybe vice versa. If you've been following Heartland Waterfowl for years, we talk about all the time, oh, we could have shot more birds if we were shooting up here or shooting on the hard edges or the sides. And
we did that
we
today.
usually like to decoy them and get them feet down in the hole.
Yeah, but we did that today.
Today, we threw
just
all
got a
that
little
out
wild
the
with
window.
it.
We had the fun hunts because Dakota and Q were confident they could get it on camera.
And that's just it. Like if we would take more of those shots, like all of you, most of you probably do, if we could get it on camera. But if it's not on camera, it defeats the purpose of why we're here. And so knowing that we didn't have any wind and it was going to be harder for those birds to decoy correctly, they would come and they would give us a look, but they wouldn't finish. And so we had to pass shoot many of them. And it was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was a blast.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but it wasn't like they're sky
We're not pass
high.
shoot. We're not pass
No,
shooting them
no,
at
no.
60
We weren't
yards.
doing
They're
mile or
they're
more.
hovering at 20 yards
I
over
mean,
the blind.
I tripled, 2 groups in a row. I mean, we were just belly busting them because they were coming over at 25, 30
Right.
yards high.
Right. And so for those who are going to hate on us for that, just go ahead, comment, put all your hate out there. We don't care. It was a blast today. And the cool part is that Dakota and Q filmed their butt off and were able to capture that. And so excited for you to see that episode. It was cool from the standpoint that, like, I think it's fair to say that most hunters, waterfowl hunters, if they have the opportunity to take that shot, they're going to take it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, for sure.
we don't get to do
all
that
all day long. They're taking.
we
that
don't get to
shot.
do that because of the camera stuff. And because we've been doing this now for 11 seasons, we don't have the luxury of always taking that shot. So it was like doing something new,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
it
it was fun.
was a lot of fun.
Just buddy hunting with your brothers out there.
It's it. I also want to, we didn't talk about this yet. When you came back with the scouting report last night, you thought that there was maybe 10,000 birds using that field. I knew that you said that there was some hopscotching going on, and so there was probably more than 10,000 birds, but there was significantly more than 10,000 birds, which we kind of learned in the process of the day and having other conversations with others. Is there's more birds that moved in overnight, and there was actually even birds moving in this morning as we were hunting.
Yeah, we saw migrators dumping in. We were kind of originally positioned perfectly between 2 feeds, and then as they would hop up, trickle over, hop around, that feed to our northwest kind of ended, but they just piled into the one to our southeast, and migrators all day. You turn around, and they just suck in all day long.
Yep, sunny yesterday, light south wind. Sunny this morning, light south winds.
Now it's
That's
blowing pretty good.
Yeah.
typical. Now it's blowing out of the south real good, so there's going to be, I would assume, some more showing up, and then they're right behind them is the rain. Literally right behind them is the rain.
I was so relieved to see that and to hear that from others who we know who are hunting around the province. Because when I went out to scout last night, so we recorded this podcast yesterday before last night's scout. Go out to scout last night. I mean, I'm just getting to where the majority of the birds that we saw the first day where they were roosting, and they're getting up and they're all flying north. And typically where we were hunting, all those birds were going south to feed. So I called you guys after having me and Q went out and followed them, and they just got higher and higher and higher, and they got into formation, and they just kept going. I was like,
they're going north.
They're out of here. They're gone.
Yep.
And so we went back to the area where we hunted yesterday. Of course, we watched that all day the day before, and it was just completely juiced. Not hardly a bird in the area. And I'm like, oh, no. And so we decided to go to a whole new area. I called you guys, and you're like, yeah, we were talking to another one of our buddies who's up here hunting, and he said a bunch of birds are moving out. And so where I'm ultimately going with this is that I was relieved to see that with the birds that did leave, new ones were right
we
behind
got back
them.
up. Yep.
So that being said, what's the strategy for tonight's scout? I'm probably going to go back out to the east where that new area that I ventured to right before dark last night. There was a bunch of birds out there. What's your guys' plans?
Lock down the feed we saw today.
That would be great.
That's
that
the
would be
best
awesome.
one.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
great.
If we could lock that down, that's easy. I don't know. I think we got to obviously kind of backtrack and go back over our footsteps from the past 2 days because a lot's changed in the last 12 hours.
Yeah.
So probably just kind of backtrack.
And it could still potentially still change with,
Alex and I found a couple of good feeds last night. The problem is you just couldn't hide. Like a lot of people lay in whites this time of year. We wish we could. The cameras kind of make that very, very difficult, but like there's a lot of raked fields up here. So we kind of struggle in the spring up here to find a place that we're confident in to hide. That's why we like to try to find an edge, hopefully. And we pass over a lot of fields because of this. Like we didn't hunt a field 2 days ago because of that. Right. So, backtrack, go over some of that stuff, that huntable numbers that we did see the past couple days, and maybe hope that with the wind being a different direction finally, or them birds maybe feeding part of that field out, they're in a different spot, or maybe they bumped across the road or whatever the case may be, go recheck those, and then maybe they're in a spot now that we can hide. So that's kind of really what I'm going to do, and give yourself enough time. Like some of the places we're driving 45 minutes away. So instead of leaving when the birds are starting to come out, we're leaving, an hour before the birds come out so we can get there and be there when they first start coming out, and that type of stuff. So.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea. The good news about tomorrow is that there's it's very likely that you will not hear us bitch about the wind tomorrow. It's forecasted to blow pretty decent. That can't, unless it changes, that really won't be an excuse for us tomorrow.
No, it's definitely going to be blowing 20 plus. The big issue is it's supposed to start raining really good about 9 a.m. and it's not going to stop until potentially we leave. I mean, there might be periods of light rain, but tomorrow afternoon for sure when it first moves in, I think they're calling for an inch of rain or more starting about 9 a.m. So hopefully it's a get in, beat them up, and get out of there before it starts raining at 9.
Well, again, as we kind of alluded to in the last podcast since we've been up here, is the luxury of that is that we start banging around 4:50 in the morning.
Right.
And how many times have we said those first birds that came out right at first light or the first hour, if we would have had some wind, we would have nailed them. And so if we find a good feed and we're on the X and we have the wind that we're supposed to have, then it's very possible that we could knock out a limit before 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Very well. Or we could go home with 2 thumbs and a smile.
So, great day. Hope you will go check out that video. And don't forget to go check out yesterday's video, our first morning hunt since we've been up here hunting spring snows in Saskatchewan. And also don't forget that the giveaway for this trip and the final trip of the season 11 of Heartland Waterfowl, is from Blue Otter Polarized. We're giving away a pair of sunglasses and some swag from them, be it a hat or a shirt. I'm not really exactly sure, but they'll throw something really cool in there. Their sunglasses are great. It's a majority-owned company by Luke Combs. A lot of popular country singers are involved and have signature pairs of sunglasses. They have Zeiss lenses, which is really good glass. They are outstanding sunglasses. You're going to love them, and would love for you to go check that out, blueotterpolarized.com. But we have a chance for you to win those glasses if you subscribe to the Heartland Waterfowl YouTube channel, like the Behind the Blind podcast, all of the content that we're doing while we're up here, also the hunt recaps that are coming out, the show the action actually in the field. Like, comment, do all of those things. That's automatically going to get you entered, and we'll pick a name at random at the end of this trip. So unless you guys have anything else, I think it's time to go to bed, because this is actually now bedtime.
I've actually been fighting this horrible foot cramp for like 10 minutes.
You keep reaching down there.
Like if I move right now, I'm going to lock up my toes like locked. So as soon as we're done with this.
Maybe we should hang on a little bit.
No,
come on, let's see it. Let's see it. Come on. We got to see it. Let's see it. Come on.
I can't do it. No, we're good. I think we're going to be okay.
All right. All right.
Be okay.
So, make sure you keep checking back. Appreciate you guys watching.
Somebody's at your door.
I know. That's my Ring doorbell going off. We're going to wrap this up. For Alex Diecedue and Logan Burditt, I'm Ronnie Philps. Thank you, Blue Otter Polarized, for being a part of this giveaway. And thank you, Tetra Hearing, for being the title sponsor of the Behind the Blind podcast. Check them out online at tetrahearing.com. We're back tomorrow with more of the Behind the Blind podcast.
Help.